right. We are starting on lesson 5 now. Hold on, I need to move this guy out of the way. Alrighty, let's see. Lesson 5-01, which is creating a 3D model saw trigger. Okay, at the end of lesson 4, we used a spline and some other sketch tools to create a profile of the saw trigger. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue with that previous module and build off of that so that we can make the trigger in 3 dimensions. So if you haven't already done so, open up the F3D file that we saved as trigger, which was the canvas of the saw and the sketch that we had made. And in this tutorial, lesson 5 is pretty brief. We're just going to use a few of the extrusion tools and the modify tools. In this case, we'll do extrude and fillet. And then in the next lesson, we're going to assign an appearance to the piece. So we're going to change the overall look. And we're also going to assign it material properties. Cool. So open up that module. Now that the trigger shape is drawn, it needs to be extruded into a 3D geometry. So we're going to click Create Extrude or press the E key on the keyboard. And we're going to select the larger closed profile. So we have 2 closed profiles. We have the profile that looks like the trigger with the spline. And then there's that small rectangular profile coming off the back of it. And so we're not going to select that. Cool. So if we're looking here at our sketch, we're going to click Extrude, this guy, the larger of the profiles, and we don't know how large they want us to make it quite yet. In the Extrude control panel, choose the symmetric option from the direction drop-down menu, then enter a value of 10 into the distance field. Click OK. The trigger is now extruded into a 20 millimeter wide solid body that is centered on the sketch plane. So that's because we're using the symmetric. It's going to extrude in both directions from the sketch plane the amount that we specify, which is 10 millimeters. Symmetric is under the direction drop-down menu. And we want a distance of 10 millimeters. And you can see under measurement here, we can define the whole length, right? So, you know, if we went in and clicked whole length, we'd actually have to input 20 millimeters based off of what the tutorial is asking. So that's going to yield us the same result as if we go to half length, click on that and say 10 millimeters. Same way, same thing, different options, different approach. All right, click OK. And notice that we have a 20 millimeter, even though we specified by 10 millimeters. If we come in and we measure this face to this face, it should be 20 millimeters, distance 20. You can zoom in and you'll see that it's 20. And it's centered about the sketch that we've made, the sketch plane. So that's good. Use the browser to turn off the visibility for sketch 1 by clicking the eyeball next to it. All right, then press E on the keyboard to open the extrude tool. All right, sketches, sketch 1. Oh, it looks like it is already turned off. Okay, from the control panel's profile selection, choose the smaller closed region. Use the on-screen manipulator to begin extruding the selection outwards. In the control panel, again, choose the symmetric option, but in this instance, we're going to enter a value of 5. I'm going to go ahead and turn the canvas off also. We don't need that. Extrude. this guy. I'm going to expand my extrude control panel, symmetric, but in this instance, we're going to do 5 millimeters instead. And again, we're doing the half length option, 5 millimeters. Choose the new body option from the operation drop-down menu. So right now we're using join. We don't want to use join. We want to use new body. It will do the same thing. In this instance, it'll do the same thing. Okay. So now we can turn off our sketch over here, and we've created the trigger. Turn off the visibility for sketch 1 in the browser, and then turn off the visibility for the saw image, which we already did that a couple steps back. Fillets can be added to the solid geometry to make it more ergonomic. Click Create Fillet, and then select the 8 edges of the trigger, and add a 1 millimeter fillet to them. Click OK in the control panel to accept the new fillets. All right, so let's take a look at this real quick. Up here under Modify, okay, you have the fillet tool. So you can click down, it's here as well, or you can click F anywhere on your screen, F being on the keyboard. Okay, we're gonna highlight our edges, all of our edges first. You can either do that or you can click the whole face, which is, I think, kind of nice. It's a little bit faster. If you highlight the face, it'll select the perimeter edges to fill it. Okay, and they're saying 1 millimeter. And there it is. Although, we don't want to fillet those edges there. So I'm going to go back. I guess we do have to click our edges. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is all of them. 1 millimeter. Great. Press F on the keyboard to open the fillet tool, then choose the rule fillet option from the control panel drop-down menu. Okay. So in our control panel, rule fillet. Okay. What are they going to have us do with this? In the timeline, choose the extrude feature that was used to create the main trigger shape. Okay. So that was this guy here. And that is selecting this feature here. That's what we've just selected by going down here and clicking on this extrusion. Okay, in the control panel, specify a 2.5 millimeter radius value for the fillets, and make sure that the rounds and fillets option is selected from the rounds and fillets drop-down menu. Okay. So we are selected on rounds and fillets, and I believe it said 2.5 millimeter radius. And it's taken the entire body or extrusion or feature, what have you, and applied fillets around the whole thing. So you didn't actually have to go through and select each edge. Pretty useful. The two separate bodies need to be joined into a single body. To do this, click Modify, Combine from the control panel's target body selection. Okay, and then choose the main trigger body. For the tool body's selection, choose the smaller extension and make sure the join option is selected in the operation drop-down menu. Then press OK. All right, so modify, combine, right, which is also here at the top. Okay, and the target body is going to be the main extrusion, and the tool body is going to be the small guy. And we want to make sure to use the join tool, not the cut. Then press OK button to join the two bodies. After clicking OK, a single body is created from the two separate bodies. All right. I just wanted to make sure we weren't creating a new component or toggling keep tools, so we're good there. So that's great. Now it's one single body, which would allow us to fillet around here in the opposite direction, which is what they're going to have us do. Press F to open the fillet tool and add a 1mm fillet to the edge. So F. And we want to go back to just fillet, okay? From our drop-down menu, we were still on rule fillet. We want to go back to fillet. And if we select this perimeter option and add a 1mm fillet, see how it creates the fillet in the opposite direction. Before it was curved down because it was a separate body. Now that they're one continuous body, it actually creates the fillet in the other direction. So that's good. All right. And that's that. Pretty quick. Navigate to the home view, save the file, and continue to the next module. So home view, or actually, I guess that's the home view there. If I zoom in, and I believe it's, no. I guess I gotta, there we go. All right, save, and on to the next one.